I've got a top 4 list.
4?
Well, you can't have 5 Super Bowl matchups.
4 matchups.
Well, I got a feeling
There's only
we're
4
get 5.
possibilities here.
I gotta find
There's
a
only
feeling it
4
might be a fifth.
possibilities here for Super Bowl matchups. Okay, we all know them. You know them. You don't really need me to list them for you, but I'm gonna. Because I'm putting it in order of the way I want to see them. Okay? Here we go. The top Super Bowl matchups. Number 4 is the rematch. We've seen this movie before. You know what I mean? We've seen it before out of all 4 Super Bowl matchups.
It's a good one.
The Chiefs and 49ers. I mean, it would be a great game. Now, here, let me give you this little twist, though. Okay? For Chiefs 49ers. We showed you Jimmy Garoppolo being upset. If the Niners make it, Garoppolo could be active and dressed on game day. Could you imagine a scenario? One last quarterback injury occurring in this game. Jimmy G steps in. He's got Ayuk on a post, and he hits him this time.
Yep.
And he goes out a winner, and the Niners beat the Chiefs in the rematch because Jimmy G comes back when nobody expects it.
That would be tremendous.
Now, that's what this matchup could afford, and obviously the Chiefs are like, why are you going negative on us? But just a rematch is, I think, the last one we all want to see. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Okay. Number 3 on this list is a Burrow versus Hurts Super Bowl. Okay? Like a little. Number 3 on this list is Cincinnati and Philadelphia. I think we'd be kind of grasping of Zach Taylor, Sirianni, Hurts and Burrow. We would be hanging our hat on Hurts and Burrow for this Super Bowl for the entire week. Honestly, like nobody else should show up. Because the whole media will just be going nuts. And, did LSU play Alabama? That was Tua versus Burrow, right? I don't think Hurts played Burrow. I don't think that happened.
Because we would have seen that by now. We've seen the Purdy and Hurts. Somebody would have.
I think, that's because they're playing. Nobody's put Hurts and Burrow together just yet.
Yeah, let me look that up.
Getting back to the Super Bowl, the Eagles getting back to the Super Bowl, I guess, with a different coach. It would be an interesting matchup of defense and offense on either side of the ball. But that's number 3. Number 2 would be kind of lit if it's Bengals and 49ers once again. I mean, the fact that the Bengals would make the Super Bowl for a 4th time, and this would be the 3rd such matchup. And last year was damn near almost the 4th. That these two franchises somehow can't quit each other. And the fact that Burrow and Purdy would be going for their first as well. Like the fact that Purdy would be reaching, and again, this is no offense to Hurts. I mean, him winning a Super Bowl for Philadelphia would be unbelievable. But Brock Purdy completing the magic carpet ride to prevent Joe Burrow from getting there for a 2nd straight year. Number 1 overall pick versus the last overall pick in a Super Bowl. And we would be showing all this footage of Joe Montana in the Silverdome. And then, of course, Montana to Taylor talking about that time that John Candy was in the stands before that drive. I mean, there would be it would be an NFL Films festival that Bengals fans wouldn't really want to revisit. But that's number 2. And then number 1 on the list, it would be the 2 top seeds reaching the Super Bowl, and it would be the Andy Reid Bowl. Okay?
Yeah.
That Andy Reid would be coaching against Philadelphia. Would be kind of lit. Mahomes versus Hurts, their styles of play would be really lit.
Kelsey Bowl.
Kelsey Bowl
Yep.
is another one, obviously. Travis and Jason Kelsey. I mean, it would be lit if it's Chiefs and the Eagles. And the last time there was 1 seed versus 1 seed was the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl taking on your Patriots. They were the 1 seed with Doug Peterson. And I had NFL Network research, the crack staff looked this up. Only 13 times in the Super Bowl era have we seen 1 versus 1. And the last 5 of the 13 have only happened in this century. Broncos versus Carolina for Super Bowl 50. The year before that, Pats in Seattle, the Malcolm Butler game. And the year before that, Seattle against the Broncos.
Oh.
And then the only other time was New Orleans versus Indianapolis. So Peyton Manning was involved in 2 or 3. Broncos, and then Indianapolis. How about that? And then the rest of the only other time before this century was 1993. So it's been a while. You don't see 1 versus 1 a lot. And that's my top 4
Do you think we
list.
need one more? All right, we'll get one more.
I mean, how could we have one more? Oh, okay, if you need one more. Matchup of Titans.
We don't need one more.
No. If you want a big game matchup,
I knew it. I knew it. Can't even get through.
You need a clash of all-time greats. And by all-time greats, I'm talking about stuff that's been talked about for centuries. Centuries. Okay? And here's the Super Bowl matchup we'd all like to see. It would be Einstein versus Scrooge.
Oh,
and these are the 2 characters that Paul Giamatti has played, looking for cell service that is better than what they already have. I don't know. I mean, you know, one would be one that clearly wouldn't pay for the service.
Right.
The other one would think that he could create his own service. I think it's, in the cap era. I don't know if Scrooge would really come through in the cap era, where there's got to be a floor and a ceiling. I think I'd take Einstein in this matchup over Scrooge, but you never know, and I'd like to see it played out in front of hundreds of millions of people worldwide, and that's my other last matchup.
I knew it.
Of greats.
Kaput.
We're not done yet.
You
think this idea is done? It's not.
Brilliant.
It is not done yet, because we're going to see this. Why wasn't there a What's More Likely involved with this? Number of times you'd see the commercial.
Come on.
I can't be a partner.
Why? You know you want to.
I really don't think he does, though, to be honest.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.